Hello friends, in this video tutorial, we will learn how to edit or change or update existing MongoDB data under this Node CRUD application. In previous part, we have already learned how to fetch data from MongoDB schema data and display on web page, tabular format, under this Node CRUD application. Now in this part, we will fetch single data from MongoDB schema and fill under this form, and then after edit that data under this Node application. Now let's start discussing this topic. So first we have goes to user.html file. And here, in JavaScript code part, we have make one fetch single data function with ID variable as parameter. Under this function, we have to write fetch method. Under this method, we have to write /users/ID variable, so it will send get request to this URL. After this, we have to write then method with callback function with response variable as parameter. So this method will receive data from server, and now under this function, we have to write return statement with response.json method, so it will convert data into JSON format. After this, we have again write then method, and under this, we have to write callback function with data variable as parameter. Under this function, first we have called make modal function with 3 parameter like edit user, edit and edit data callback function name, so it will pop up modal dialog box on web page. After this, we have to write document.getElementById method, and under this, we have to write text box ID name. After this, we have to write value property is equal to data.name, so it will fill user name text box with data. Below this, we have to write document.getElementById method, and under this, we have to write text box ID email. After this, we have to write value property is equal to data.email, so it will fill email text box with data. Next we have to write document.getElementById method, and under this, we have to write text box ID age. After this, we have to write value property is equal to data.email, so it will fill age text box with data. Now we have goes to make modal function, and here, we have to create one input hidden field with name is equal to user ID, and ID attribute is equal to user ID. Now again goes to fetch single data function, and here, we have to write document.getElementById method, and under this, we have to write text box ID user ID. After this, we have to write value property is equal to data._ID, so it will fill this hidden field value with data. So here, this function is ready. Now we have goes to get data function, and under this action table column, we have to write button type is equal to button, and class attribute is equal to button, button warning and button small class. After this, we have to write onClick attribute is equal to fetch single data function. And under parameter, we have to write row._ID variable, and in button text, we have to write edit, so when we have click on this button, then it will call this function, which will fetch single user data, and it will pop modal dialog box with fill user form data. Now we have goes to server.js file, and here, we have to write app.get method with 2 parameter. In first parameter, we have to write /user/:id, and in second parameter, we have to write asynchronous callback function with request and response variable as parameter. Under this function, we have to write constant user variable is equal to await keyword with user model.findById method, and under parameter, we have to write request.parameter.id variable, so this code will fetch single user data and store under this user variable. Now we want to send this data to client, so here we have to write response.status variable with 200 code. And after this, we have to write JSON method, and under this, we have to write user variable, so it will send data in JSON format. Now we want to check this code is working or not, so here in terminal, we have run this command. So friends, in browser, we have opened Node Application base URL, and here on web page, we can see that user data has been displayed on web page in table format, and now in action table column. We can see that edit button has been created in each row of data, and now we have click on this button. So after click on this button, so here, we can see that Modal dialog box has been pop up on web page. And here, we can see that user form has been filled with data, and here also, we can see that Modal title has been changed to edit user data, and submit button text also changed to edit. Now for edit data, we have goes to user.html file, and here, we have goes to JavaScript code part. And here, we have create one edit data function for edit user data, and under this function, we have to write form element variable is equal to document.getElementById method, and under this, we have to write form id user form. Below this, we have to write constant form data variable is equal to new form data object with form element. So this code will get form data by using form data object. Now we want to convert form data to JSON string, so here, we have to write constant JSON data variable is equal to blank object. After this, we have to write form data variable dot for each method, with two parameter, like value and key variable. Under this function, we have to write JSON data variable, with key index is equal to value variable. So this code will convert form data variable data to JSON string, and store under JSON data variable. After this, we have to write user ID variable is equal to document.getElementById method. And under this, we have to write hidden field ID, like user ID, and after this, we have to write value property, so here we have store hidden field value under this variable. Now we want to make put request using fetch API, so here, we have to write fetch method with two parameter. In first parameter, we have to write /users/user ID variable, and in second parameter, we have to define different option, so in first option, we have to write method key, and in value, we have to write put. In second option, we have to write body as key, and in value, we have to write JSON.stringify method with JSON data variable. In third option, we have to write headers as key, and in value, we have to define JSON content type. So here, it will send put request to users route of this server.js file. Next, we have to write then method with one callback function with response variable as parameter. This function will receive data from server, and under this function, we have to write return statement with response.json method, so it will convert data into JSON format. After this, we have to again write then method with callback function with data variable as parameter. And under this method, we have to write user modal element.hide method, so it will hide modal dialog box from web page. After this, we have called getData function, so it will display updated data on web page. So here, editData function is ready, and this function will be called when we will submit Modal form data while edit user data. Now we have goes to server.js file, and here we have to write app.put method with 2 parameter. In first parameter, we have to write /users/:id, and in second parameter, we have to write asynchronous callback function with request and response variable as parameter. Under this function, we have to write user ID variable is equal to request.parameters.id variable. Now we want to fetch single user data from database, so here we have to write user variable is equal to await keyword with user.findById method. And under this method, we have to write user ID variable, so it will fetch single user data and store under this user variable. Now we want to update user properties if it is provided in the request body. So here, we have to write user.name is equal to request.body.name variable. After this, for update email property, we have to write user.email is equal to request.body.email variable. Next, for update user age property, so here, we have to write request.body.age variable. So this code will update user properties, and now we want to save updated user to the database. So we have to write constant updated item variable is equal to await keyword with user.save method, so it will save updated user data to the database. Now for send response to client, so we have to write response.status method with 200 code. And after this, we have to write JSON method with updated item variable, so it will send response to client in JSON format. So here, our code is ready. Now we have goes to terminal, and here, we have run this command, which will start Node development server. Now friends, here in browser, first we have refresh web page, and after refresh of web page, here we can see that user data has been displayed in table on web page, and in each row of data, we can see edit button. Now we want to edit this row of data, so here, we have click on this edit button. And after click on the edit button, here we can see that Modal dialog box has been pop up on web page. And under dialog box, we can see that form has been filled with user data. Now we have make necessary changes under this user data. And after this, we have click on edit button, so after click on the edit button, here we can see that Modal dialog box has been removed from web page, and here on web page, we can see that updated data has been displayed under this table, so this way, we can update MongoDB data using Node application. So in this part, we have learned how to edit or update MongoDB data under this Node CRUD application. And in next part, we will learn how to delete or remove data from MongoDB database under this Node CRUD application, so we will be meet in next part.